Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Nuala Black and of course this is Foxy at 50. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I've got a great one. It's my top 10 tips for looking 10 years younger. If you haven't tuned in to me before, I'm 57 and really spend a lot of time trying to find out what really makes the difference between looking 10 years younger or 10 years older or staying the same. And these things can make a real difference. But as I started to write this, actually, there's a lot more than 10. So I'm going to call this part 1 and there'll be a part 2 at some point. So number 1, I'm kicking off with eyebrows. Now, eyebrows are extremely important when it comes to looking youthful. We don't always realise it, how important they are. But as we age, and particularly with the onset of menopause, eyebrows start to become really sort of sparse and start looking patchy. And if you're actually one of the unlucky ones like me, mine always looked like that. So early on, I went and got mine tattooed or microblading, as they call it. And that made a hell of a difference. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go and get yours tattooed, but it just makes life a lot easier. But what you do have to ensure is that they are full, bold, and defined, because this will give the illusion of a much more youthful face. So, I mean, I still fill mine in, but because the shape is there, it's just so easy. Just get a brown eyeshadow, just fill it in, takes 2 seconds and I'm off. So, but whatever way you decide to do them, as I say, just make sure they're broad, full, and defined for a youthful looking face. So number 2 is a soft, long fringe. Now, a fringe can be really, really youthful, but if it's done in the wrong way, it can look very aging. So you're looking for a sort of soft and long. If it's really sort of straight across and short, then it's really severe and it's really dated, and it often gives that look of wearing a helmet. So instead, just go for soft and long. That's what you're looking for. Then number 3 is defrizz the hair. Even as I'm sitting here, I can feel my hair frizzing up, but that's my hair. Obviously, nobody wants frizzy hair at any age, but if you've turned 40 and your hair's frizzy, again, it's going to just really look 10 years older. Some of my tips for defrizzing: invest in a good hair mask, and if you've got the time and you can do it, then try and wear it overnight. Even if it says wear it for half an hour, I try and wear mine overnight. They make a huge difference. Make sure you've got all your vitamins and minerals, make sure you're eating properly, you've got a good diet. And one of the best tips I can possibly give you is to make sure that your hormones are balanced, because if they are not balanced, then that is the first place it will show is in your hair, and it will always be frizzy, dry hair. So get those checked out, because no amount of product will help your hair if your hormones aren't balanced. So then number 4, we've got a dewy foundation. This is really important, because if your foundation is too dry or too thick and cakey, it will be really aging, and it will just sit in the crow's feet and the lines, and rather than make those lines less obvious, it will actually make them appear much worse than they actually are. So we definitely can't afford that. I would only put foundation around my eyes if it's an incredibly light foundation, and I mean incredibly light. So I just use a brightener round here, not a concealer. A concealer will also sit in the lines. So I use a brightener around here, a brightener here. But in here where I've got dark shadows and not so much of the lines, I can afford to use a concealer. So I put the concealer here and brighten around here, and then try to let your foundation blend a little bit. Or as I say, if you want to put the foundation on the eyes, make sure it's incredibly light. And if you can, unless you've got really oily skin or you keep breaking out in sweats, try to ditch the powder, because again, that can be very aging. Or try to make sure that you get a really light one, really light one, so that it again won't sit in the lines and the crow's feet. So then number 5 is Botox. Now, of course, not everybody wants to have invasive treatment, but I can't do a top 10 tips without including Botox and fillers. They're not for everyone, but I happen to be a fan. But I would really stress that Botox really doesn't make that much of a difference if you're not following a good diet, lifestyle, and you know, the type of tips that I'm mentioning here. Botox is just the icing on the cake, and it will just give you that more fresh and youthful look. But don't just rely on it and not look after your skin in other ways from the inside out. Also, make absolutely sure that you're going to somebody who is qualified to do it. I've heard horror stories about Botox parties and alcohol being served, and just treating it like it's a makeup session. Just because it's commonplace, it is not a makeup session. It's still invasive. I mean, getting your appendix out is really commonplace, but you wouldn't let your hairdresser do it. So try to get a recommendation. My dentist does mine, and she's absolutely brilliant, and we talk in depth about exactly what we're looking for and the most natural outcome. I do see people walking around and they've just had so much filler, so much, and they just look ridiculous. So don't let that put you off either. It's just how much is being put in. So just make sure that you go to somebody who knows what they're doing, and steer clear of those Botox parties or anybody who's not properly qualified. And number 6 is exercise. Now, movement is the magic pill when it comes to prolonging your youth. I mean, I think you're probably like me. We've always thought of exercise as just a weight loss tool. And in fact, now I put that at the bottom of my list as for reasons to exercise. And when I really looked into it, I found out that exercise, when you do a workout, your skin glows and it looks more toned, and that's when you break a sweat. You really do want to break a sweat, and it's proven that workouts, you know, they speed up cellular regeneration, metabolism, and it really does slow down the aging process. So, you know, I could spend a whole video on the benefits of exercise, but anti-aging is most certainly one of them. And I've got lots of exercise videos on this channel already, so you might want to check one of those out. Then number 7 is juicing, and you may be wondering why everybody's talking about juicing and why it's so important. Everybody seems to be doing it. And there's a very good reason. First of all, the government says that we should have 5 a day, fruit and veg. I already think that that's far below, you know, what it should be. But the truth of the matter is that people are really struggling just to do 5 a day, to eat 5 fruit and veg. Therefore, if you can juice it, you can get 5 a day in just 1 glass. It's done. But I would say if you're juicing, why not go for 8, say 5 veg and 3 fruit, because it will make a huge difference to your skin and to your hair. So that's the reason to juice. Obviously, if you can eat that amount of vegetables and fruit, fantastic. You don't need to juice, but so many people are struggling. And just a reminder, if you haven't seen my juice video, I do go on about Japan, where everybody lives the longest to extraordinary years, and the recommended daily intake of fruit and veg in Japan is 17. So I would at least try to bump it up to 8. And as I say, if you're struggling to do that, then juice. So as I've mentioned, I've got juicing videos on this channel. One of them is just about the benefits and what fruit and veg can do for your skin and hair, and for, you know, a youthful look. And then there's recipes as well. So number 8, we're up to number 8, and that is fats. But that's the good fats, not the ice cream. I wish it was ice cream. Gosh, it would be brilliant. But no, but fats add shine and glow to your skin, making it look really healthy. And fats also give us healthy hair with, you know, real shine. So while skin care and hair care externally is really important, of course, if you don't look after the inside, then you simply won't get the real results that you want. Good sources of healthy fats would include avocados, olives, seeds, nuts. Nuts are amazing. Tofu, soybeans, plant oils. So they're just some examples of really good fats which will give you smoother, plumper skin, and also add vital moisture to your skin. And that's what your skin needs. You know, we keep investing so much money in moisturizers, but we've got to get the moisture on the inside, and that's what's key. Then number 9 is protect and preserve your lipid barrier. Now the lipid barrier is the outermost layer of the skin, and a healthy lipid barrier protects the skin from damage. It keeps the moisture in, and just like any other part of the body, you can make that area really strong with the right treatments, or you can destroy it with the wrong lifestyle and products. So to preserve your lipid barrier, don't use harsh cleansers. Exfoliating is great for the skin, but again, if you over exfoliate, you'll destroy the lipid barrier. The healthy fats that I just mentioned, they're really important for your lipid barrier. And just, you know, getting your vitamins, your minerals, they all support and strengthen it. Of course, the sun, we know so much about that now, but that will also tear down your lipid barrier. So just always make sure you're wearing a sunscreen. Then last but by no means least, and it's definitely not least because this one is huge, number 10 is sleep. Now your skin repairs itself at night, and it builds the collagen, the elastin and the hyaluronic acid that we hear so much about now. And those little beauties are responsible for plumping up the skin, the translucency and the elasticity. And these molecules restore the complexion and give us the radiant glow that we're all looking for. Getting good quality sleep can really improve your skin's health by reducing inflammation. So particularly if you suffer from acne, a lack of sleep will make that much worse. When you're sleep deprived, you're producing higher levels of cortisol, and that increases the severity of inflammatory skin conditions such as acne or psoriasis. And high cortisol levels also trigger the skin's sebaceous glands to produce more oil, and of course that will lead to clogged pores and breakouts. And then of course lack of sleep we know will lead to dehydration, and that really has an effect on your skin, making it look incredibly dry. Your eyes, it will affect your eyes, they'll look swollen, and you know, really sort of set back. And your complexion can have that sort of ashen look. So drinking lots of water, of course, is important, but it won't make up for lack of sleep. So try to make sure that you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, because that's really, really going to do a lot for your skin. So that's my top 10 as at part 1, as I'm now going to call it. So there will be a part 2. I hope that was helpful, and do let me know if you've got any questions or any comments. Just pop them in the box and I will definitely get back to you. And if you'd like notifications of when a new video comes out, just ring the little bell and just share the video with anybody that you think might be interested. Don't forget to subscribe. And until the next time, I'm Nuala Black. This is Foxy at 50. Stay safe, happy, healthy and well. Bye-bye.
Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got.